Power Hour with John Lee.
Okay, Rock the Sector, Power Hour, John Lee in the house. Today we're rocking it out with domestic terrorism. This is not putting a bomb in your house to kill your fucking wife. No. This is attacking your own country one time and your own country people. So we're going to start the ball rolling with Mr. Randy Weaver. Who's that crazy kid? Well, he may have been a bit of a crazy kid. I don't think so. I think he was a perfectly nice man who was easily led. And this is just based on interviews that I've seen with him and his interactions with his children. You see, what happened was he married a woman of a similar inclination, similar mentality. And they were very anti-establishment, anti-big government. They didn't like the federal government. They didn't trust the federal government. All the things that are going to make you a prime target for the media and the Twitter fucking dickheads to call you a conspiracy theorist or a lunatic or whatever. They simply had an opinion, which was that the federal government was corrupt and not to be trusted. And as part of that, he started looking for alternative crowds, groups of friends, people who could spend his time with him. I think that's where he took a wrong turn, because he started going to these meetings that were essentially soft-core Ku Klux Klan type meetings. That they weren't all-out Aryan race, Nazi doctrine or philosophy, but they were definitely leaning that way. They were going in that direction, and people that knew said he started to adopt that kind of speech, always had something negative to say about black people or gay people or Jewish people. Anybody that was different from him, from the white Aryan, and they wanted to establish a white Christian race in the United States, and this was going to be a country of white Christian beliefs and white Christian people. And this was in some way traditional. This was going back to the roots, which is bullshit, because the whole point of America was religious freedom. That's why they went there in the first place. As Puritans and as Protestants, they were sick of being attacked by the crown, by the British Crown, and they wanted religious freedom, whether they be Catholics, Protestants, or anything else, to be able to practice their religious views in harmony, or at least in peace in the United States. So to say that you're going back to your roots by establishing some kind of monolithic Christian, Catholic, Protestant church, which everybody must belong to and everybody has to be basically the same ethnicity, is just ridiculous. I mean, you conquered the fucking place by wiping out the race of people that were there when you arrived. So it's just bollocks. The whole thing is it's just a bullshit ideology. But he was kind of conned by it or seduced by it. But he wasn't a violent man, and he wasn't involved in anything that you would call criminal or hateful. He wasn't that kind of person. But a lot of the people that were in this church or this environment or this society, they were. And so they'd been infiltrated very heavily by, undercover FBI agents and snitches and DEA agents and all that. And that's what happened to Randy. He came, into the path or into the scope of an FBI agent, and the FBI agent was undercover, obviously, and he was trying to dig up some dirt and get some leverage on these people to be used against them. You can say what you want about that. Maybe they were dangerous, maybe there were dangerous people there, maybe they had a good reason to be there, but they weren't infiltrators. And one of them went to Randy Weaver and he befriended him, and they'd been friends for a significant period of time, about a year, maybe a year and a half. And the guy says to him, listen, I want a sawn off shotgun. can't get one. Can you help me out? I've got money for it. So Randy Weaver says, yeah, I'll sort one off for you, mate. On the block, sort it off. Yeah, there you go. Bosh, money, sound. Right, you're arrested. You're nicked, as we say in England. You've broken the law in doing what you've just done, even though I asked you to do it for me. We're still going to arrest you. Now, that should be entrapment in my mind, because if you hadn't have asked him to do it and offered him money, he wouldn't have done it. So the crime was only committed because you fucking encouraged it to happen. And so that's my understanding of what entrapment is. And so then they started going to town on him then. They said, listen, I'll tell you what we'll do, Randy. We'll let you off. Right? We'll give you a pass. Obviously the crime's not that fucking significant. We'll give you a pass. Right? If you become a grass. Right? It's a grass pass. And you can just, mosey round the church and the local area, engaging people in conversation, and then running back to us and telling us who's doing what and where and why and when and all that. And he's gone, nah, not doing it. Not interested. Not my cup of tea. See you later. So they said, right, we're charging you, you fucking little bastard. Get your ass down to the court. Monday morning, you dickhead, in court. And so he's gone back talking to his family, and he said, these guys are fucking, they're scum, aren't they? They've entrapped me with this shotgun shit, pretending to be my friend. Now they want to make an example of me because I won't grass on everybody I know and be their fucking bitch. So they said, well, we were right about them all along, weren't we? This is what we were saying. They're not to be trusted. You know what I mean? Snakes in the grass. So we'll fuck off. And so they did, and they went to live in a little village in Idaho called Naples. Very rural, and all kinds of different people there. The natives, if you will, of the area say that's the whole point of the place, that people live and let live. You know what I mean? You can go there and be who you are, within reason. And so they went to live there, and it's the Weavers. It's Randy and his wife and their kids. It's a family affair, and they go and live on this hill, in like a little shack, but decent enough little complex, a couple of outhouses and whatnot, and they do hunting, and the kids play. And so they've got 3 kids, and there's another young guy living there with them as well. And what happens is the FBI decide that they're going to go and find this guy out in the fucking arse end of nowhere, bothering nobody. He didn't turn up for court. He missed a court date. And so they're going to go and get him. One day, Kevin Harris, who's the guy who's living with them, and Sammy, the 14-year-old son, they're out hunting and generally having fun, living that kind of life. And Randy, he's out with the dog. He's walking the dog. The father is Randy. He's walking the dog. And all of a sudden he hears pop, 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 pop. Fucking gunfire. And then he hears boom, boom, the shotgun coming back. He don't know what the fuck. So he turns round and he says, fucking, get back to the house. Talking to his kids, get back to the house. And then a fucking agent jumps out and he's cammied up. All you can see is his eyes in the fucking gun. Stay where you are, Randy. Don't fucking move. He's only got a dog. So he says, yeah, fuck you, and turns around and runs back, and he's going, get back to the house, get back to the house. We can still hear gunfire. And when he gets back, he quickly discovers that his son has been shot in the back and killed. And he doesn't know that one of the agents has also been shot in this exchange. And then after this, these marshals that are there, they're calling in and they're saying, oh, we're under fire, fuck me, we can't move, rat-a-tat-tat above our head. you know. But it was bullshit. It was a lie. There's nobody to fire at them. Everyone ran back to the house. And they claimed to be pinned down there all day. They were chilling out, them fuckers, in the woods for 6 hours, claiming to be under heavy fire. They weren't. Fucking lying immediately. And this standoff develops now, right? So they can't leave their house, and they don't want to leave their house. They want these twats to get the fuck off the mountain. Get the fuck away from the house. Just leave us alone. What are you coming here shooting people for? You're shooting kids. So the 14-year-old kid, he's dead. They fucking shot and killed him. Day one. So the family take the kid and they put him in the side in the side building, you know, like an outhouse, and just leave him there. There's nothing else they can do about it. And so then the chat's in the house and it's escalating. And they speak to an FBI negotiator who's just a fucking bully, you know. And he says, we're going to come in there, we're going to kill you, we're going to kill your family, we're going to push your fucking house down the hill. Right? And he's thinking, well, you know, this is an exaggeration, surely. And this is all in the early stages, this is just kicking off. And during all this mayhem, the young mother, his wife, is a young mother, she's got a baby in her arms, and she's trying to get back in the cabin, right, because the gunfire starts again, and she's trying to get back in the cabin, and they fucking shoot his wife in the back of the head. And the guy who did it was a sniper, who had also been present at Waco, shooting people up, shooting up kids, this guy, and he shot his wife in the back of the head, and she just dropped dead with the kid in her arms. And at the same time, Randy Weaver's going to see his son, who's laid out dead, right, in the side building, and he's got fucking shot as well in the back. Shot him in the shoulder. Shot him in the fucking back, and hit him in the shoulder. And so then they just barricade themselves in the house. The wife's fucking dead. The son's dead. The other 14-year-old kid, Kevin Harris, he's been fucking shot. Randy Weaver's been shot. And so now it's Randy Weaver, really. The Kevin kid, he's fucking laid out. And there's two young girls, two daughters. And they're praying every night. They're religious people, and they're praying, you know, just to fucking get out of this alive and all that. And so they hunker down. They're not moving. They're not going nowhere to go. And not trusting the federal government. We were fucking right all along. If you don't trust us, we'll shotgun blast you and we'll kill your fucking wife. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's why I don't trust you, you fucking shower of shit. So that's a fucking brutal. It's murder. It's pure murder. And lying about being under fire and all that. And so they knew that this was getting out of hand now. The authorities knew we've stepped in a fucking big pile of shit here. So we're going to have to do something about it. So what do they do? I mean, what would you do? Wait. Offer to get the bodies out of there. Offer to get medical assistance in there. No, fuck that. Let's bring the tanks in, baby. Yeah, let's rock the fucking tanks and the heavy machinery. Let's get the fucking bulldozers up there. And I'm not talking one or two. I'm talking of convoy after convoy of fucking heavily armed vehicles. They built a fucking big compound. They had houses built up there, fucking tennis courts. I mean, these cunts settled in. You know what I mean? We live here now. We are the terror town next to your fucking house. And we're going to threaten you non-stop. They sent a fucking robot to the door that was apparently going to do something very nice. And when they looked at it, it had a fucking shotgun attached to it. They attached a fucking shotgun to the fucking robot that they sent up to the door. Yeah, it's alright, just go out and get this or give that to the robot, whatever. Walk a fucking shotgun on the robot. Psychos. I mean, they were trying to wipe this family out. trying to find. And the reason that they didn't just storm the gaff is because they'd attracted attention by this point, and so all the townsfolk are going down there protesting, and you can see, you know, there's some of the women, man, because they're killing kids, you know, women react to that even more strongly than men do very often, and you know, they're fucking saying, we want a fucking head count. How many people are up there? How many fuckers do you have to bring in uniform with heavy artillery to fucking deal with one guy who did what? Who didn't go to fucking court? You have some kind of small ball competition, you fucking tossers. You know what I mean? Go and pick on someone who's got guns and fucking ammo. And one guy who took this very seriously was a guy called Bo Greitz. Serious character. Was he Green Beret? I think he was a Green Beret commander. And he had similar belief systems, did Bo. So Bo Greitz goes down there and he's got a document that he's created, and it's a citizen's arrest for every fucker involved, for all the army guys and the police guys. Yeah, I'm here to arrest you. And this guy is not to be fucked with, because not only is he a Green Beret commando, he's got a shitload of backup. I mean, he's well known in that scene all across the country. He could put a decent militia together, this guy. And he's gone down there unarmed. He don't give a fuck about them. And you can see it, you know, he turns up like that. Shut the fuck up, you know what I mean? And stand down, I'm here, you're under arrest. Get back in your tank, you ginger cunt. I bet a lot of them were ginger, right? And he's gone storming up the hill and fucking... And he started playing the intermediary then, showing that it could have been done day one. And he's talked some down, the Weavers, you know what I mean? And he's talked some, maybe got some sense into them, got the bodies out of there. Unfortunately, the evidence of the murder of Mrs. Weaver was destroyed by one of the friends a girl who felt she had to clean the blood, and thereby destroyed it. And then, you know, they had to walk down with Bo Greitz, so he's walking down Randy Weaver with his two daughters. His son's fucking dead. His wife's fucking dead. There's a baby involved. I mean, it's just horrendous. Horrendous. And as I say, they've built a fucking military installation next to his house. I mean, you know, and the lies and all that. So they decide that the correct thing to do here is to charge fucking Randy Weaver with not only that, they charged him with murder, conspiracy, and assault, and a lot of other shit as well. Just totally bogus fucking shit. He's charging him, right, murder. We're going to charge you with murder then. And conspiracy. Charge you with conspiracy and whatever. And fucking robbing a milk bottle last week, I know it with you. And they brought him up to court, and obviously, you know, well, bollocks. And in the end, they got him with the fucking failing to go to prison, failing to appear in court, and he got 18 months in prison. He had to do 18 months in prison. Eventually, though, he gets out, and he fights, you know, and other people join with him, and he gets 3 million, just a bit more than 3 million compensation for his wife and his son, who were murdered by the federal government. So when I talk here about domestic terrorism, I am not referring to Randy Weaver. I'm referring to the uniformed bastards, little cowardly cunty fucking crawling little bastards who went up there and shot a woman in the back of the fucking head for having the audacity to be married to a guy who didn't go to court when he'd been set up by an undercover fucking snaky FBI agent. And they fucking shot his son as well on sight. And then lied like fuck about absolutely everything. They even sent a fucking robot to the door with a gun. That is domestic terrorism, my friends. Randy Weaver is the title of the story. Ruby Ridge, if you want to look into that. All this happened at Ruby Ridge, and was very important in American history. Very important indeed. One of the people heavily affected by the events at Ruby Ridge and at Waco was Timothy McVeigh. Very important guy. So Timothy McVeigh is born in New York State. You know, normal family, normal background, gregarious, had a good personality. They say he was interested in guns. So what? And when he was growing up, he read the Turner Diaries. Great book. It's I won't give too many spoilers about it, but it's basically about bank robbing to get money to sponsor domestic terrorism to bring down the government. It's the gist of it. And so he read that growing up. He fucking didn't. Anyway, he joins the army. He's a tall, slim kind of character. Joins the army. Apparently he's a very good athlete. Did very well in that environment, having previously been a typical teenager, I guess, you know. And he's dotting the I's, he's crossing the T's. He's very good. He's a very good soldier. He goes to Iraq the first time, 1990, 1991, does a tour of that barbaric monstrosity that was the first Iraq War, and does very well. And he's selected for elite training, you know, to join, I don't know whether it's the Rangers or even a group that doesn't have a name. I'm not particularly au fait, but you know, to join special forces anyway. And the official story goes that he tried to do it, and he was tired after his time in Iraq, mentally and physically, and he had problems with his feet and all that, and he washed out after a couple of days, and he failed, and he'd never failed at anything militarily before, and it was a devastation, which is a fair enough story, and that's why he left. However, there's a lot of evidence to suggest that's not true. That he didn't wash out, that he was sheep dipped. And sheep dipping is the official term, I don't know if it's official, but it's the generally accepted term for joining special forces secretly. Right? So what happens? You don't go and say, yes, special forces, please, there's my fucking name. And all right, you're in the special forces file. No, it's secret. It's off the grid. So they literally don't do that. What they do is they make up some kind of story, and you officially resign from the army, from the military, and you basically walk around the corner and go in the other end as a fucking operative. You're going to be doing black ops and all that. So you don't like cross the finish line and you're on black ops, start Monday. No, they pull you out. So right, you're going to resign your post and join us black ops. Your fucking family don't know and all that. And so it looks like to me that that's what happened, that he was sheep dipped. But either way, his official military career apparently came to an end, even though it didn't even do that. So none of this story makes any sense at all. There's so many contradictions in the story, and apparently he's got a bit pissed off with the government, you see. Bitter about his failures in the army is the official story. And he's got together with his mate from the army called Nickel and a couple of other guys. And they've got into this subculture down at a place called Elohim City. Elohim, Elohim City, which was very well known, and it was massively infiltrated by DEA and FBI. And so every conversation with three people in it had at least one fucking undercover agent. I mean, the place was populated, and I don't know how many CIA were rocking around, but this place was very well known. And there was a guy there called, and he was known as Andy the German. What's it called? Andres Strossmayer, I think. And he was a military police or something like that. They had a really important role in the German military. And he was in America. And they were very vocal about blowing things up, striking at the federal government, with all these federal agents everywhere, undercover. And Timothy McVeigh was there, by all accounts. Now, this is where the rubber starts to meet the road, because if he's joined it because he likes it and he wants to blow things up, well, that's one thing. If he's been sheep-dipped and now he's working undercover, as he told his sister he was, in a letter, then why is he not one of the infiltrators? There's plenty of people there in disguise, infiltrating the place. Why not the military guy who clearly loves his country, or did fucking 10 minutes ago? So, anyway, the two completely different stories, the parallel, because as a radicalised, disassociated, disconnected lunatic, basically, Timothy McVeigh all of a sudden decides he wants to blow up a federal building. And so he gets a rider truck, a hire truck, and he fills it with AMPHO, right? Biological explosive, basically. And he parks it outside the Murrah building, a federal building with tax offices in it and all kinds of shit. The fucking alphabet soup, all the agencies are in there, and it's in Oklahoma City. And he parks his van outside there on his own, gets out, walks away, disappears from the scene. Must have had another vehicle, I suppose. And then the rider truck explodes and fucking smashes the front of the Murrah building. Right, proper semicircle smasheroo. And he leaves the scene undetected. Gonskis. Done it on his own. Now, problems with that. One, AMPHO won't do that. That's not my opinion, it's scientific fact. I think it's called Broussard's damage. Can't do it. AMPHO produces air that comes out in every direction. This is targeted. And it's gone through concrete, and it's gone through rebar, it's gone through fucking metal, steel. Can't do it. Scientifically impossible. Anyway, yeah, that's what happened, according to the official story. It's all done with that one fucking truck bomb. But the news reports from the day, which you can watch, talk incessantly about more bombs. We found another bomb, there's a third bomb. Bomb squad going in. You can see bomb squad driving in there to take more bombs out of the building. People in the building who survived it know that there were bombs in the building. It was on every news network that there were more bombs in the building. Next day they changed it. One bomb outside the building. Clearly there were bombs in the building. All the papers and everything were blown out. One bomb outside the building. Right. Then it's Timothy McVeigh was alone. Right, well, we've got 27 eyewitnesses, all describing the guy that was known as John Doe 2, who was described almost identically by everybody, including the snake tattoo that he had on his arm. And the FBI launched the biggest manhunt in American history. Extremely expensive, looking for this John Doe 2. Who's the guy that was in the van with Timothy McVeigh when they party up outside the Murrah building in Oklahoma City, because he has killed a fucking shit ton of people. I mean, I'm overlooking the numbers of dead people really a little bit here, because it was terrible. I think it killed 168 people. I mean, horrendous. Some kids were killed. And that they are obviously the victims in all this, and it's a terrible, terrible event. That is terrorism. My problem is, I'm not defending Timothy McVeigh. I'm saying that he was there, and he did park the van up, but he wasn't on his own. And there's just hatfuls of witnesses to that. The man was not on his own. Right? He didn't hire the truck on his own. The truck hire fucking guy says he wasn't on his own. People gave Timothy McVeigh directions, which is strange enough on its own. And there was a guy with him in the truck who was described, who was exactly the same as every other description of him. At first they were looking for fucking Muslims. They were saying Muslims drove away in a brown car. That was the big thing at first. Then they changed that. That stopped. That disappeared. Then it was two white guys. One, the image is clearly Timothy McVeigh. The fucking sketch is clearly him. And this other guy. And it's a better sketch of the other guy. And he was John Doe too. And then he ceased to exist. All of a sudden. And it just becomes Timothy McVeigh and a couple of his mates that he was in the army with, and they get rounded up and they get sent down, and maybe quite rightly so, but maybe not. I mean, was Timothy McVeigh really driving down there with this guy to park the truck as part of some other kind of operation? Is that why he was stopping and asking people for directions? Because if I was going to blow a building up, I'd fucking know how to find it before I tried to do it. You know what I mean? So it doesn't seem right to me that. It seems like he may have been trying to call attention to get witnesses for some reason that maybe he didn't even understand completely. Highly recommend watching Arlington Road about this. And which Arlington Road mentions this. Well, it references this, it's about this, with other names in it, and Ruby Ridge. It's a version of what happened at Ruby Ridge. It's also in Arlington Road. Definitely worth watching. Tim Robbins is great in that film. And Jeff Bridges. And so, after this, he goes to prison, and he's telling everybody that he's not going to die because they're going to give him some chemicals, bring him back to life, let him go. I don't know. Apparently he was electrocuted. But that story stinks to fucking high heaven. You really should look into that. I'll come back to it another time and look at other aspects of it. The fucking thing makes no sense from start to finish. Yes, the building was blown up. Yes, 180 people died. Yes, it was a terrorist attack. Yes, Timothy McVeigh was involved. But no, that is not the whole story. Nowhere fucking near the whole story. David Copeland, right? Probably lesser known in some places, maybe in America. American dudes might not know David Copeland, but you might remember what happened in the London bombings. 1999, big year. So he's born in 1976, which makes him, 23 at the time, in 1999. Fucking Hounslow, North London, normal parents, nothing to write home about at all. Mother's a housewife, father's an engineer. I mean, he's not even poor. Average kid. Apparently, as he's growing up, seems to develop some kind of racist ideology. That's always shit. It's not, it's not even fucking creative, is it? I need an identity. I need a personality. Where can I get one? Well, just be a fucking racist. That's your personality. All right. So you start being a fucking racist. And I think that's what he did. And he's kind of, they say he was in Combat 18. Get to fuck. He's an absolute little fucking dweeb. And the Combat 18 guys, I mean, they might be all right with him at a meeting or two, but he's not going in the pub with them boys. No fucking way is he having any more than one beer with the Combat 18 lads, because it's fucking, face to the jukebox, smash. You know what I mean? Because you said something or you didn't, whatever. But that guy is not going out drinking with Combat 18. No fucking way. They are a serious set of fucking thugs, man. They are violent people, and they're organised. So, I mean, if they were going to include him, it would be to use him. It would be to bitch him out. So I'll go along with that possibility that he may have been the fucking running boy of some fucking hard cases down there in London. But anyway, one day in 1999, Saturday the 17th of April, what does he do? He goes down with a hold all down to the market on Electric Avenue. Johnny, we gotta rock down to Electric Avenue. So it's a famous street. I'm not taking the piss. It's a famous street. He goes down to Electric Avenue, and he puts a bomb outside Iceland, a nail bomb. And there's some fucking around with the bag. They say the bag was stolen and somebody left the bomb. Well, yeah, I mean, so he goes down apparently, head hold all, right? Puts the fucking bag outside the supermarket and jogs on. Then there's some tomfoolery with the bag where someone comes along and decides, oh, there's the bag, I'm going to steal the bag. I wonder what's in the bag. I'll open it and have a look. Oh, it's a bomb. I'll take the bomb out of the bag and steal the fucking bag. I mean, and it was obviously a bomb. Fucking clocks and, you know, and wires and whatnot. That makes no sense to me. It could happen, but I mean, I wouldn't do that. If I was out bag stealing, I wouldn't steal the one with a fucking bomb in it. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's apparently what happened, and it went off, and it was nasty. One guy got a fucking big nail through his dick. I mean, I'm not taking the piss. That's bad. That you go to work on the fucking market, and you come home with a big nail in your fucking dick. And there were all kinds of terrible injuries there. You know, absolutely serious note. Young 2-year-old kid got a nail in the head. I mean, if you catch that fucker, I mean, I'm not a man of violence, but on this occasion, if I catch that cunt doing that, and I see him do that, and I see him going like that, it's fucking chokeroo, neck, smash, curbsies, you fucking cunt. You ever played curbsies? Bang. You know what I mean? Feels like a bomb, doesn't it, you little twat? And unfortunately, that didn't happen. He was able to scurry out of the area after nail bombing the market, the fucking scumbag. I mean, it's just bad styles. And that's what he did, little cunt, and got out of there. I'm intertwining Crime Watch because it's relevant. That was Saturday the 17th. Tuesday the 20th, Crime Watch appeal. For this, you know, who the fuck bombed this market? Who would do that? Who do you know who's got a shit ton of fucking nails? Even better, who do you know that had a shit ton of nails a few days ago and hasn't got it now? Who do you know that had a fucking head bag and hasn't got it now and wasn't in his house on Saturday? Come on, let's get the ball rolling, for fuck's sake. That might be a bit of a fucking nutter. Somebody must know that cunt. Head bag carrying nutter who holds fucking nails. So that was the essence of the Crime Watch appeal, and they put it on there, on the old telly war. And somebody phoned up and said, listen, I was there, man. I was on the scene. And I saw some guys on the roof watching the whole thing with binoculars. And this is on the programme. This is on fucking Crime Watch. Jill Dando, the presenter of the programme, she stands there and she says, well, we've had some great calls today. One very interesting one related to men on the roof watching the whole thing transpire with binoculars. I mean, come on, that's fucking suspect. And I'm not saying it's the government who did it. I'm saying there were guys on the roof with fucking binoculars. You can interpret that any way you want. But I'm just saying, there's a strong possibility here that he wasn't working alone. The police immediately are not looking for one guy. They're looking for Serbian terrorists, looking strongly at the IRA, right? They're looking at groups, right? And it's a very mixed race area. It's eclectic. Lots of black people, particularly. You know, all kinds, man. It's London. And so they're looking for a racist. So they're looking at Combat 18. They're looking at groups. And when a group makes a shady plan, That is a conspiracy, by definition. So they're looking at a conspiracy immediately. And when you've got some snaky twat moving through the market with a bomb in a bag and guys on the roof with binoculars, that looks like an operation to me, right? So that's that. Anyway, the Crime Watch appeal, 20th of April 1999. It's a Tuesday. And then we go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This is all in the news. This is all in the press every day. And then on a Saturday, the worst happens. What do you think people are scared of? The next Saturday. Yeah, another fucking bomb. This one gets left in Brick Lane. And so, again, very, very iconic street. Electric Avenue, Brick Lane. Well, we all know the names of those streets, and if that's significant, I don't know, but he picked some famous streets, and what he's done again, the lad, he's got down there with another bag, with another fucking nail bomb in it. Beast of a bomb, this one. Goes down, leaves it there, just in the street, and a guy comes along, right, sees the bag, and according to his own testimony, thinks, this is a bag of tools. This is a bag of workman's tools. And he's put the bag in his own car. He's walked down the street with the bomb in the fucking bag. Right? He don't know. Thinks it looks like he thought he'd found himself some tools in the bag, and he's having them away. He's fucking nicking these tools. And he's walking down the street with a bomb in a bag that he's fucking stealing a bomb. And he opens his car and puts the bomb in there and fucking closes it. Alright, nice one. And he's walked away, and according to his own testimony, sometime later he thought, fuck me, I bet that's a bomb. Because there was a fucking bomb last week. So maybe that was another one. So he goes to the police. While he's doing that, going down to the police station, fucking thing explodes. Should see the state of his car. Fuck me. If that's not in a car, that's on the pavement, that is ripping people up. That was a really, really fucking hardcore bomb. Really hardcore. But no one was killed again. Nobody really injured from it. A couple of people, I think, got some licks, but nothing really bad. Now, that's the Saturday, but the terror of it is fucking bad enough. The fact that it's happening is bad enough. Sunday is the Sunday after that, so it's a tense day for everybody in any way connected. On the Monday morning, Jill Dando, the presenter of Crime Watch, who announced to the nation that there were men on the roof watching with binoculars as the bomb was planted and exploded on Electric Avenue. She's murdered on her doorstep, shot in the back of the head. No one can figure out why. Some poor bastard who was literally legally retarded was sent to prison for it. Did years in prison and was released. Innocent man. Total fucking scapegoat. And the fact remains, she was murdered gangster style. She was murdered mafia style. Shot in the back of the fucking head. Secret Service style. On a doorstep. The people that did it got away and were never caught, because the guy who went to prison for it was released and pronounced innocent, declared innocent. 6 days before, she's talking about shady cunts on roofs watching bombs go off in London. Then she's fucking shot in the back of the head on a doorstep. That is shady. Then on the Thursday, 3 days later, Thursday the 29th, a photograph finally appears that was taken just shy of 2 weeks before. They finally managed to rummage this fucking photograph up that was taken by the cameras on the day and say, oh yeah, but I mean, there's so many cameras and all that. Yeah, but there's one bomb, you fucking twat, and you know exactly what time it went off. So I'll just go to the exact point. I mean, even the cameras fucking shake. You get the exact second it went off, you twat. Go to that, focus on the area of the bag, and just rewind it. Oh, you can't see the bag, just rewind it. Find some shady cunt who seems to have a bag or drop shoulder. I'll do it. because I know the exact time and place that the fucking thing exploded. So that's my starting point. It took you 2 weeks. Get to fuck. Get to fuck. People are fucking dropping bombs in bags on the street. It takes you 2 weeks to get a picture. Fuck off. So the next day, after the picture comes out, next day the third bomb goes off. I think the plan was probably to do one every Saturday, but this was a Friday. I think the picture in the paper speeded things up, so he does it again. Puts it in a gay bar called the Admiral Duncan, in Soho, and this is fucking bad. Well, he's gone out drinking. This, later revealed he's out drinking in straight pubs, and then he's gone in there into the gay bar, the Admiral Duncan. He's left his fucking bomb in there, and he's fucked off, and he's blown people up for being gay. And one of the people he killed was a pregnant woman. Horrendous, man. The damage, man. So one guy lost his legs, another guy lost one leg. I mean, fucking carnage. 3 people died. Fucking carnage. And I mean, that's really bad, really sad. And then the next day, Copeland's arrested. The police go to his door, knock on his door. He's got Nazi flags on the fucking wall and a shit ton of fireworks and nails in his little room, his little bedsit. And he says something like, "Oh yeah, the bombs and that. It was me. I'm responsible, and I did it alone." All right. Thanks, Lee Harvey Oswald. Get in the fucking van. And that is suspect. Again, that he was involved. It seems quite apparent that he was. From the video footage of him in the area. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's just too fucking neat, innit? I mean, one guy gets all them fucking nails and the fireworks, builds bombs. He knew fuck all about bombs. He was a numpty fucking idiot. And he's building bombs and carrying them around, and they don't explode while he's carrying them. They only explode, at precise moments. This guy had an operation on the go in the fucking one of the busiest cities in the fucking world. This doesn't add up to me. The guys on the roof, the whole thing just does not add up that this is just one guy on his own. No, not having it. I'm not blaming the government on this occasion. I'm just saying I'm not having that. That was a one-man band. Not at all. Especially when you throw the Jill Dando murder in there as well. Just too fucking much. And we'll finish today with the Unabomber, Mr. Ted Kaczynski. A bit like me, Ted, right? His IQ is off the charts, right? But the difference between me and Ted Kaczynski, apart from my donga, so if you find anything on the internet about my donga, it's true. The other difference between me and Ted is that I'm not a total fucking dweeb, which Ted Kaczynski was. And he loved his mathematics. Numbers, columns, fucking add it up. Bit boring for my taste, but he was into it. And he was very bright, as I say. But he had no ability to engage with others, one might say. But what he's absolutely left out, and it's on Netflix, but it's left out of every fucking mainstream documentary you'll find, is the fact that he was MK Ultra'd. He was fucking mind tortured. Similar to what you would see in Clockwork Orange. The fucking, watch the donkey porn. Watch the donkey porn. You know what I mean? And that's what they did to him. So he comes out of that, literally, because they did that to him at university, and he becomes a mathematics professor. So he can do the mathematics, but he can't do the professing. He's fucking shit. He can't connect with anybody. Scared of girls, no doubt, guaranteed. And they'll all be fucking hot, won't they? University girls in America, yeah, there'll be some right hotties in there. And he's a young man himself, and he's fucking intimidated as fuck by these young girls and the jocks that are dating him, And so he's having a right sweaty little time of it in the classroom. And he gets fired. Creeping people out. And he thinks, right, fuck this, I'm getting a cabin, you twats. And he fucks off and he gets himself a cabin in the woods. And he's trying to live off the land, and he's trying to, be a natural self-sufficient citizen, I suppose, of his own little world. But he can't, because, the industrial world has already arrived. I mean, they're fucking logging like fuck, chopping it down and, marking it out in chalk for a McDonald's right next to his house, and he's fucking snapping about this. And he writes a manifesto about the evils of technology and industrial machination or whatever. And how it's going to eradicate the freedoms and liberties of the individual. Fucking bang on, mate. Spot on. Correct. Can we not see this now? In our modern world, that we have lost liberty. We have lost freedom. And individuality is a foreign concept. And so he was absolutely right about that. Like I say, he was an intelligent man. What he wasn't right about was that it's cool to bomb the peeps. He started fucking building bombs, and the first few were rudimentary. And his MO was to get a fucking box, basically, with a pipe bomb inside it, nails inside that. So he's another nail bomber, this kid. And he's sending them to universities and airports. Universities, maybe because he used to work at one, or maybe because he was mind fucked at one. Airports, don't know, is that just like the epitome of technology changing the world, planes flying around? Fuck knows. But he chose those two, and so that's why they called him the Unabomber. UN for university, and A for airports, or airlines, I should say. I think it's airlines. And bomber for putting bombs in fucking places and letting them blow up. And he was using the mailing system. And of course, over time, as he was clever and practicing, he got better at it. And at first, he's like blowing people's hands off, taking the fingers off. And he's doing that for quite a while. And I'm not going into this forensically. There's plenty of fucking documentaries about that, like that on YouTube, that'll give you the dates of everything that went on. I can't be bothered because he was active between 1978 and 1995. Let's just say the guy was taking the fucking piss. You know what I mean? 1978 to 1995. Fuck's sake. So 17 years, I think. He's just bombing peeps, and nobody knows who the fuck he is. He goes quiet for a while, he comes back, he's more serious the second time, but the police have got absolutely no idea. And he's doing the classic, he's sending them all kinds of clues and letters and putting other people's DNA on his shit. He's sending them on all kinds of wild goose chases all over the country, false initials, little clues he can't solve on the blasting cap of the pipe bomb. He's put FC. And what the fuck does FC mean? You know what I mean? And I mean, I played around with the idea for a while. Apparently, it means future club. No, does it fuck? I was playing with that. It means freedom club. And so they can't fucking find him. They've got no idea who he is the basic idea of the story. And then a newspaper prints some of his manifesto, because he's basically saying, you print my manifesto, you pack of twats, or I'm going to bomb you and your mates. And I don't give a fuck. So they said, all right, we'll put your fucking manifesto in the paper, which they did. And his brother, Ted Kaczynski's brother, he's reading this in his house and he's thinking, that's a bit Tedish, that. Going on about technology and fucking the evils thereof. Still minging on after 15 paragraphs. This sounds a bit like Ted, this one. So he's asked his wife, he's gone, wife, this guy's minging on for fucking ages, boring the tits off me about technology and fucking industry and all that. Do you reckon it's Ted? And she's gone, yeah, will be. So they've gone and got some of his old shit out of a box and read it and gone, yeah, that's the Tedster, is that. Phoned the FBI. They said, listen, this Unabomber you're looking for, it's my brother. Defo. It's my fucking brother. He's been bombing them all. So they've gone down there to his cabin. A fucking scruffy cunt comes out, twitching. And they say, yeah, can you just tell me what that is? Smack, head against the fucking cabin, cuff him up, bring him in. Scruffy, dirty bastard. And they arrest him. And he's playing for a while, but then he starts admitting it. And, you know, as long as they'll listen to his fucking bullshit, he'll confess to anything. And his lawyers wanted to give him like an insanity defence. They went, fuck off, insanity. I wrote a fucking manifesto. Do you know what I mean? I'm not insane. I'm the fucking saviour of the world. So they had a battle there, and so he did real time. You know, got sent down. And what did he do? He killed 3, injured 23. Thing is with that, a little bit torn. I mean, if he blew my hands off, I would fucking butt him and bite him to death. It's no joke. Do you know what I mean? And what he's done is terrible. It's bad. And it's cowardly as fuck. He's sending you little bombs through the fucking post. You know what I mean? Go round with a bat and a fire extinguisher. Trust. Don't fucking post a bomb. That is really, really poor. And, you know, he killed 2 people who just happened to work at relatively technological or intellectual industries. I don't know. There's no justification for it at all. But what I'm driving at here is I just think it's a bit poor. For somebody who's a fucking genius and he's really dedicated himself to this for 17 years, and you kill 3 people in 17 years. He might argue his objective was not to kill a load of people, and he could have done if he wanted. Yeah, I'm sure that's probably true, but as body counts go, 3 in 27 years is a bit fucking poor. And I'm glad it's a bit poor. I'm glad it is. So let's rock what I'm on about here today. We're talking about domestic terrorism. It's a thing, baby. It's a fucking thing. And we started with Randy Weaver. He'll be on a list of domestic terrorism. You fucking Google it. He'll come up. He's not the terrorist. The fucking federal government that he was so afraid of, they're the fucking terrorists, as they proved on that day. And as they proved at Waco. Go back and look at Waco, peeps. I'll take you back on another day. We'll have a good old look at that motherfucker. Shady bastards. Another person who had a good look at that was Timothy McVeigh. Was he a domestic terrorist? Possibly. Was he a government agent? Possibly. Was he a military man? Yes. When did that end? Don't know. Very nebulous and cloudy affair. Full of fucking lies. Some organisation. It's not one man in a fucking van. Some organisation killed 168 people that day for whatever fucked up little reasons they may have had. That's what they did. That's domestic terrorism. David Copeland, apparently on his own, can't find his ass with both hands in a mirror, is able to bomb the fucking busiest streets in London and then go home 3 times. Not buying it. Not when there's guys on roofs with fucking Beanox watching him. No way. And the Jill Dando murder, we'll see that another day. So when you fucking putting bombs in bags full of fucking big ass fucking nails, you're a terrorist. Was it him on his own? I doubt it, very much. And then we looked at the Unabomber, very famous case, of course, sending nail bombs all over the country because he thinks his fucking manifesto's right. And he wants some fucking attention. So domestic terrorism, unfortunately, is a thing. I don't think that we can just blame brown people or blame Irish people or blame the Basques. You know, terrorism is a tactic. It's employed by people who feel they have no way to win or even start a fair fight. You know, there's no fair fight on the table. Can't have one. Right, so how do I fight? You don't. You take it. Don't want to take it. Well, you'll have to get creative then, won't you? And unfortunately, one of the routes that these people take is not through political or social channels, it's through violence, cowardly violence, which is for me the definition of terrorism. Power to you, right? Power to me, power to the people. Boom.